Well, hello there again, guys. How is everyone? Hopefully well. It is me, your whiskey coach, back at it again for yet another whiskey review. Sorry again about the delay, but as my life continues to evolve and change, these delays become, shall we say, sporadic. So that's the reason for the delay. Today's review is Templeton Prohibition Era Rye, small batch rye whiskey. So, when you think when you think whiskey, you think what? Bourbon in Kentucky, Tennessee sour mash whiskey. You think Canadian, you think Scotch, you may even think Japanese, you may even think Indian. You don't think Iowa. Iowa is actually where Templeton is made. Really cool story. You guys know I love a good story when we're talking about a liquor or a spirit. And I know I don't want to bore you too much, but I think it's a great, great story. First of all, love the label. Love the label. You can't, let me see if I can get this laid off here. You kind of see, it's like a prohibition scene. A couple guys at a bar with a bartender right over there kind of handing them some drinks. Love that old-fashioned Prohibition era look and feel. That's just right up my alley, and I think they did a really nice job of capturing that with this bottle. So, when Prohibition outlawed the manufacture and sale of alcoholic beverages in 1920, many enterprising residents of a tiny Templeton, Iowa, population 350, came together to create an American classic known as Templeton Rye Whiskey, or the good stuff to those in the know. Over the course of its storied history, Templeton Rye became Al Capone's whiskey of choice, quickly finding its way to the center of the bootlegging empire. Speakeasies in Chicago and New York and as far west as San Francisco poured Templeton Rye as the best whiskey in the house. Later legends suggest that a few bottles even found their way inside the walls of Alcatraz to the cell of prisoners AZ-85, which is Al Capone. Available legally for the first time, the infamous small batch rye whiskey returns, aged in charred oak barrels and based on the original Prohibition era recipe. Templeton Rye provides a smooth finish and a clean getaway. Get that? Little play on words. And then it says, "Greetings from Templeton's. God bless America." And then on the top, there's a little separate sticker that I thought was a real nice touch. It says, "Uncle Al's favorite whiskey was the good stuff from Iowa, Templeton Rye Whiskey." And that's from Deirdre Marie Capone. I'm assuming that's Al Capone's niece. So great, 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 great story, in my mind at least. So the reason I wanted to do a rye is because, quite frankly, I have a bad taste in my mouth. I tried a rye whiskey that my buddy in Kansas City bought me over the holidays. We always do it like a bottle exchange. And the name of it is, cheat here, High Spire. One word, High Spire, S-P-I-R-E. And it's a rye. It was batch one. And guys, you know I don't like to speak poorly, but this stuff was awful. I thought it tasted like kind of like a funky, kind of like a sea salty, briny flavor. And my friend actually compared it to shoes, like the inside of a smelly shoe. Either way, two things you're not looking for when you're considering a whiskey to drink. So I want to get that rye, that bad rye experience out of my head, and I want to try a new one. The story about these guys is I just laid out. It's a small, manufacturer in the state of Iowa. I don't know how available this is nationwide, to be honest with you, but I know here you're able to find it relatively easily. The price point, about $40 a bottle, so I'd say a mid-range bottling. And like I said, I just really had such a bad experience with this rye that I just tasted that I really wanted to give another rye a shot, because the last thing I want to do is have one bad bottling kind of scar me for that whole line of whiskey. So I'm hoping it is a more pleasant, enjoyable experience here this evening. Love the very, very kind of a grainy wood cork. A little sticker from end to end there. I'm always a big fan of that. Let's break right into this stuff, guys. Synthetic cork. Now, right now, you're probably telling yourself, wait a minute, hold that thought. Wait a minute, guys. Whiskey Coach always uses a Glencairn. And 99% of the time, you'd be right. But you know what? I thought to myself, this is a Prohibition era Al Capone drinking rye. Let's not complicate this. I'm just going to go a highball. So I broke out one of my nice highballs, and I'm just going to go old fashioned here. Let's not get too snobby tonight. Guys, in the glass, this is apple juice, some honey. It's light. It's golden. It's almost you know what? It's almost kind of an Irish whiskey look and feel to it. And it's got a very, very delicate, light, fruity, little bit of sharp edges to it. Nose. It's a nice nose for sure. Nothing really offensive at all. Got my mouth watering a little bit. That's always a good sign. Let's give it a shot. If you notice there, I'm starting to be more cognizant of trying to, what they call, chew the whiskey. Where not only do you make sure it hits all of your taste buds in your mouth, but also kind of give it almost a chew. Much better. Much better experience. I'm getting what I want to get from a rye whiskey. I'm getting that sweetness, that rye bread, really. Earthy, grainy, not earthy, more of a grainy, savory almost. It's not sweet, it's not bitter, it's not salty, but it's almost like that other taste, what they call it, umami. It's almost getting a little bit of that. It's nice. It's not a very long finish. I would say it's a medium finish in terms of length. I wouldn't hesitate to drink this neat like I am tonight. But I think it would make a mean Manhattan. Or some other cocktails where you're looking for a rye whiskey. Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I really am. It's not... I would say this, and I don't claim to be a rye aficionado by any means. I have your basic stuff. I have your Dickel. I have that High Spire I talked about. I have, some pretty standard rye stuff. Bullet. It kind of is what it is. And there's not that, I wouldn't say it has an identity crisis, but it doesn't really scream to you, it's I'm this, or I'm that, or I'm the other. It's just kind of a nice, versatile, pleasant, very palatable whiskey. And like I said, I personally think it'd be wonderful in a cocktail. It's totally fine to drink. Probably not what I would reach for. I would probably reach for a rum or maybe a bourbon or even a Canadian or an Irish. That's just me. But you know what? It's, again, nothing wrong with it at all. Very pleasant. Grade-wise, guys, I'll give it a 7.0. 7.0 feels right. You know what? 7.25. 7.25 it is. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you joining me again, and thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate you joining us, and hope you continue to enjoy what you're seeing. And until next time, and as always, glasses up.